Hi everybody, Beth here, and today, well, at the risk of bursting into song, it's looking like Bendy and the Dark Revival is going to be delayed until 2022. Now, there hasn't been any official confirmation about this, but given one, there's less than 2 weeks at the time of this recording until the end of the year, and the most recent information we got was not related to the Dark Revival at all. It's just printable ornament that you can make. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Dark Revival, and I kind of wanted to discuss and talk about it. So today, the Bendy page, the website, the Twitter, and the YouTube, or not the YouTube, they haven't touched YouTube in years, in months. Not when they've got that attempt at a trailer for Netflix, April Fool's joke. No, the website, Instagram, and Twitter released, hey guys, it's getting close to the holidays, come make a free ornament, come print it out at the website, so on and so forth, and it is a radio. And if you've been paying attention to some of the conversations that people have had regarding Dark Revival's marketing strategy, aka the lack of strategy with the marketing and lack thereof marketing, it is rather funny that they decided to pick a radio. Out of all the props they decided to use, let's use the thing that is also referred to as when communicating to your fans, radio silence or something along those lines. So, while probably not intentional, and I really hope it's not intentional because I'd rather believe the team is just not aware that they're shooting themselves in their own foot and this is not malicious. Yeah, not great. Now, obviously, there's so many sides to the stories. But the team take as long as they need. Obviously, it's going to be bigger than they imagine. The other side is we need conversation. We need to know that this isn't just going to be trying to steal our money. The team has not shown that they're trustworthy. You know, I vote with my dollars and so on and so forth. There's pros and cons to every side. Big important part is, be kind to everybody. Like TZ says, be kind. At the end of the day, it's a video game. It's kind of, that's it. So, yeah. I'm looking at this curiously because by this time last year, we already knew that the Dark Revival was going to be delayed. Around November 30th or so, the Bendy team came out and was like, hey guys, this year has been crazy. We have to delay it to 2021. And now we don't. We've already passed last year's time when we got the announcement that it's being delayed. And so it's kind of like, okay, you've got less than 2 weeks until the end of the year, less 2-3 weeks. Okay. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, one of the big name indie games, is coming out. This is not, it would pretty much be shooting your game in the foot if you released it right now. So when are you going to release it? If you wait till January, February, okay, that'll be a good time. I mean, you'd have to face like Poppy Playtime, that's going to be in the first quarter. But let's be fair, Poppy Playtime has shot themselves in the foot with the NFT debacle, so maybe they might be just planning to do that just to kind of rub it in, like, oh yeah, people thought Poppy Playtime was going to be the new Bendy. Nuh-uh. Bendy's the new Bendy, which, I mean, we'll have to see how the game works anyway before we say stuff like that. But yeah. And sure, as the Meatly said, trailers take time. We could do the trailers and teasers, or we could work on the game. But I'm going to call bullshit on that because really, Meatly, there have been developers who showcase and tease information in such a way that they don't spoil the game, and they still have the hype. Scott Cawthon has kind of mastered the idea of that balance of like not talking about the game at all and hyping up the game. Like for a while, you know, when the first couple of Five Nights at Freddy's were coming out, people like when Scott Games changed and when the update on the website happened, everybody would be spending a good couple of months, couple of weeks talking about it, kind of theorizing, trying to figure out, and then we'd get a gameplay trailer or something, and then we'd pick that apart, and then the game came out. So yay and stuff like that. But here it's like for official media, we got the book that came out, the Lost Ones that came out, which is the most recent tweet Meatly has retweeted. We've got Meatly's tweet saying, hey, it's coming out, or I'm working on Bendy and the Dark Revival, and I will give credit where credit is due. The Meatly hasn't been posting those kind of tweets anymore. There was like a large influx of those tweets like nearly every day where he's talking about working on the game, and now he's kind of stopped talking about it. But he's still said that the game's coming out in 2021, and he hasn't said anything to change. And he said that, yeah, it'll come out and I'll talk about it when it's ready. And it's almost ready. And it's like, it's been almost ready for almost 3 years now, Meatly. Sir, we as the game players are not obligated to play your game. We can go find something else. You know, okay. And he's mentioned, of course, that we could make trailers or we could make the game. You know, print screen capping is on your computer. It's relatively easy to do. And you just got to do like a little bit of editing. Like, and frankly, with the way that some of the Bendy and the Ink Machine teasers and trailers have done, you don't even have to work that hard. It's like, okay, just work with the animator that you have been working, be like, hey, I need you to do like a 30-second clip. Give a couple $100 to your voice actors. Be like, hey, I need you to do a voice line or something, and then we'll do the radio teaser that they did for when the game was first being announced. So it's not like you're not out of options. And in fact, it probably would have helped keep the YouTube channel alive outside of the April Fool's joke, which I don't think anybody really liked that. I mean, people liked it, but just looking at it was not a very good Netflix trailer, and it was just kind of like, really? Isn't the book canon book? Didn't they say they were in New York? What's this shack in the back? Huh. But that's kind of the rambling thoughts in my head regarding this situation. So, yeah. Obviously, I would love to hear some news about it, kind of a, hey, the game's not dead, or heck, even something like along the lines of, hey guys, this is the game idea, this is the game, we are working on this, this is what we have finished. Like, if they're going to release it in an episodic fashion, or if they're going to release it in a full game, maybe they could be like, hey, the game is 85% done, or 93% done. We just need to get the last bug testing done, or the last whatever done. We need to make sure that when you boot up the game and you face the Ink Demon, he's not doing the YMCA without the music, or something to kind of give a little bit more information about like the behind the scenes of the gaming, or behind the thing stuff, so people can understand why it's taking so long, or why it's taken so long, but also in a way to kind of keep people invested in it. Like a lot of indie animators, they will show behind the scenes stuff. They'll do streams kind of doing their development. I think there's even some indie game developers who do that, where they work on the game and they live stream it, or they show clips of what they're doing, or they talk about videos of what they're doing. And yeah, it's extra work, but it's also a way to kind of get people invested in the game and also, be like, hey, I am doing the work. You see me doing the work. You know, easy understanding for all parties. Transparency is key. That's the big thing to take home. Transparency is key. And yes, I am not demanding or being like, Bendy and the Ink Machine crew, you so wacky. You need to get the game out right this minute. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm doing. That's none of that. I totally understand. As somebody who's backed projects on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and is still waiting for the 2D animated film Hullabaloo, I understand that the importance of patience. Trust me. 6 years, man. Still waiting. But I do have to be on the kind of the team of we need some news. We don't need cheeky little haha, here's a picture of Sammy homie holding a pumpkin for Halloween. Here's a video of the Meatly dressing up as a piece of bacon because okay, that's what you did instead of working on the game? Okay. Okay. Did that instead of making a trailer. Did that instead of okay. Sure. Okay. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that the Meatly and Mike should only be talking about the games or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you said one thing, you're doing the opposite. Come on. But I'm sure this video will become dated in either in a couple of days, couple of hours, or something. Hopefully, we'll get news. I just, for me personally, I kind of want to see what's going on, what's the idea? Are we going to go for like this is full blown sequel, alternate universe? Bendy and the Ink Machine was a rough draft, pun not intended. This is the actual story we wanted to tell. And, the other big thing, if that Bendy that's been shown in the merchandise and stuff, if that's Henry through whatever loop, magic voodoo, the power of the plot compels you thing, I want to know why it is only Sammy who points that out in chapter 5. Like, if that's been going on through the entire chapter or the entire game of Bendy and the Ink Machine and Bendy and the Dark Revival and whatnot, I want to know why it's never pointed out, never mentioned by any other character except for Sammy, I'm going crazy Lawrence. Like, I want to know why it's just him, and it's just him going, you betrayed me! I trusted you, blah, 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 senpai, why you noticed me wrong, kind of thing. If because of the loop, Henry is now that Bendy, why did nobody mention it to him? Why didn't that Angel and Tom be like, man, he's a tall Bendy, or he's an average-sized Bendy, or something. Why didn't Henry? No, obviously I understand why graphics and computing and coding and all that stuff would explain why we didn't have the hand thing. But really, you don't think Henry would have looked down at himself, realized he was missing when you get too invested in a game series and you end up going nosedive and then you find all the holes and all the plots and it's just like, okay, I just want an answer. Like, that's my big thing. The big thing to take away. It's like, I find it funny that they decided to go for a radio as an ornament. Given the radio silence, they've been trading the marketing. Number 2, I just want to know if it's a true sequel or if it's a spin-off or something rough draft, reimagining or whatever. I just want to know where the game lies in the timeline. Is it a sequel? Is it a sequel prequel, but a sequel to the books, but it's prequel to the game? All that kind of stuff. And then 3, is that tiny Bendy or average sized Bendy? I don't know scale. If that Bendy in the suit coat and pants, if that is Henry, why did nobody point that out to the poor old man? And that's pretty much good thing. So feel free to leave your own comments and thoughts down below. Are you on the team of like, no news is fine so long as they're working on the game? We gotta, patience is a virtue and all that stuff. Or are you on the team of this is shady, all of my investigating buzzers are going off. They really need to, show that they actually are working on this game and it's not just Meatleaf's tweeting or stuff, just some transparency? Or are you like, one way or another, we'll probably get the game, maybe? I don't know. Or whatever. Just feel free to leave your thoughts, comments, suggestions down below. I mean, I have been toying with the idea of kind of going to the deep dive of animation history and talking about why I think the game should have been set earlier than it is, but it's up to you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys all enjoy, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!